Good morning, afternoon, evening, gentlemen, and welcome to a quick new video. It appears that we now know the nature of the Year 2 content. Though this has yet to be confirmed, it appears nothing is changing. We are set to continue receiving promotional crossovers. Now, this information is coming from an article from Game Informer about Tomb Raider, of all things. Now, my first reaction to this was, oh god, more crossovers. Now, you might be sitting there saying, what the heck does Tomb Raider have to do with Ghost Recon? Nothing. The answer is nothing. It's a pretty transparent move by Ubisoft, and personally, I am not interested in crossover events anymore. And taking a look at the results of my recent polls that I've been posting on the channel, thank you for everyone who responded to those, by the way, neither are most of us, with a whopping 70% of people preferring an expansion of the actual story and map over anything else. As many people voted for crossover events as they did for I don't care anymore. That is horrifying. Anyway, the most recent Amber Sky event felt rather too much like an interactive ad for Siege than it did a meaningful update for Breakpoint. Now, this is a smart business move. No doubt this is probably the only way that they would be able to get the green light from management to continue updating the game, especially after the reported success of the Amber Sky event. And personally, it really saddens me to see this style of content becoming very much a trend in the industry. I'm sure we can solely put this down to the rise of Fortnite, who have mastered this. You gotta think that first, we had the out-of-place Terminator mission, which was just literally a paid advert for the latest Terminator movie that was just made into a playable update instead of being a trailer. It's clear that the industry is trying to push this line. Obviously, it must be massive revenue streams for them. And it doesn't help that these updates have about the same content as the old game demo discs you'd get with gaming magazines. Some of you might be too young for that reference, but it was an amazing golden age. God, I love those things. Anyway, let's get back on track. So, Lara is coming to the island. Now, Aroa does have a lot of ancient ruins dotted around the island, so they could have some interesting story moments or interesting lore. Maybe we'll be travelling into some tombs looking for some lost ancient treasure. It just screams Ghost Recon, doesn't it? Now, taking another look at the result of some of the polls I did a while ago, we can see that a lot of people want to see an expansion of the current map. Well, I think it's highly unlikely that it will come from this crossover. If at all, sadly. There are just so many existing options for the devs to use already. Now, I'd put money on the fact that we will just be running around shooting the same enemies that we've been shooting for the past year, just in a cave. But let's take a minute and consider the gameplay. The Tomb Raider games are adventure platformers with a focus on puzzles and combat, in that order, with Lara running, leaping, and climbing from vista to vista, and surviving convenient set piece after convenient set piece. Now we take Ghost Recon, preferably Breakpoint, which is solely a third-person action game. And I feel like we can no longer even label it a milsim or even a strategy game, as the game has wandered clean off the path of the more hardcore experience in favour of the more casual, friendly, brain-dead style of gaming. Now, I can't personally see a way that these two games can cross over in a satisfying manner. The gameplay will surely just be us sprinting through Sentinel Field caves, pressing X on some rocks, running back to Lara, pressing X, and repeat. Now perhaps they can throw in some extremely simple puzzles, and perhaps this is an age thing, I don't really care for bad puzzles in games. If I don't have to actually think to solve the puzzle, then it's a waste of time. Not just for me, but also for the developers. Now, if you have ideas on what we might be doing with our new death-defying friend, throw them in the comment section. I would love to see what you guys can come up with. Personally, I'm coming up blank. What I am hopeful for, however, is a substantial cosmetic update. Though the cynic in me is telling me that all we're gonna get is a Lara Croft character skin, and that'll be it. However, I'd love to see them really tap into that survivalist theme, talking torn clothes, DIY armor pieces, and maybe, finally, a goddamn hood. They could do a lot of amazing things. Perhaps give us a vest with some more tactical gear, like a compass and a map on it. Things that could really be combined with existing options to breathe some life into the channel. I mean cosmetics. Again, if you have any ideas on what cosmetics they could give us, put it in the comment sections for me to read. Let's see what we can come up with. Now, I do want to round the video off with a little bit of discussion. So, as you may have seen, I'm running a lot of polls on the channel at the moment about the state of the game at the moment, what we want from the future, what excites you, what doesn't, and the results have been rather interesting. And I was about to start making a video about what we'd want from the future. Now, obviously, should this article be correct, we can kind of see where the game's gonna go, and personally for me, and I think, well, I now know that a good portion of the community aren't interested in this. And what really interests me is, how do you guys feel that all updates going forward are probably just going to be more crossover events that their real purpose is to advertise another product instead of improving the product we're actually playing? Now, like I said earlier, from a business perspective, I can see why someone in upper management can think this was bloody genius. However, I think this is actually going to do quite little for the game. Sure, it's going to make people come back and play the event, but they're not going to stick around. And for Ghost Recon to survive, we need people to stick around. And Tomb Raider? Really? Tomb Raider? I would love to know the size of the check that Ubisoft got for this. Now, looking at it, there's also, crossover events for Fortnite. There's a crossover for Final Fantasy, which, as someone, for people who don't know and aren't one on my Discord, I've gotten into Final Fantasy 14, the MMO. I have been horrendously addicted to that game. So that's going to be interesting. How do you guys feel about this being the future? Like, they're taking away our development time, and they're taking our devs' attention, and they're putting it on in-game adverts. It doesn't quite feel right to me. I'd love to know what you guys think on that. Do you prefer it? Do you think, whatever, it doesn't really matter? Let me know in the comments down below. But that will wrap up this video. I do want to take a brief second to explain kind of what's going on with the channel. So if you don't care about the channel, feel free to click off the video. If you want to know what's going on with me, I'm going to put a little update here for the people that actually do care. So I am still alive. thankfully. I'm having a bit of an issue when it comes to content at the moment. There's really not much I can do for Breakpoint. There's not a lot of news. There's not cosmetically. I've tapped the well. The streams, they will be coming back fairly soon, but they're probably going to be very different from what people would be expecting. It might just be me playing games with the girlfriend, something just chill. I just want to stream, be happy, have some, interaction with you guys. They should be coming back fairly soon. As for upcoming content on the channel, I have one last Breakpoint video in the pipeworks at the moment. This is probably one of the most ambitious videos I've ever made. It is going to be out, I'm hoping, towards the end of the month. I don't want to give you any hints because, well, it's going to be a surprise. I'm hoping that we're all going to really appreciate it because it's a lot of work. But that will probably be my last Breakpoint video until there's more content coming out. I am planning on moving the channel into some other stuff. Variety, as you've seen throughout the channel's lifetime, variety doesn't do too well on this channel, but I've come to the decision that I really need to go into something I'm a bit more passionate about. So I'm going to be having a look at doing perhaps some stuff for Final Fantasy or some other MMOs. I'm going to be looking at game news, perhaps, a bit of coverage of situations that are a little bit shady. Things that I personally am really passionate about. I also want to take a look at games that I find really, really interesting and would like to maybe do little reviews on them, or maybe try and shine a light on another game. Like GTFO is a great example. I did a little video for that one. I'd love to do a little review for it. I know that's not what most of you came here for, but hopefully if you guys find me enjoyable or you just like the way I do things, you will stick around. For the rest of you guys, there will eventually be more Breakpoint content coming. There will be more outfits. I just need more content from the goddamn game. I need more options to work with. But with that said, guys, hope you guys are staying safe out there. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one.